It's time for all the news you need and more. Brookland is Live starts right now.
Welcome in to Brookland News Live. You are taking a live look in Spain right now. This is as the celebration as they won the World Cup again. Live right now in Spain. There, we're going to talk more about the World Cup coming up here in just a few moments. I'm Jackson Mitchell. Thank you for joining us. There's a lot to talk about. We do want to kind of note here, we are following a New York City incident where we expect any moment an FBI update on an incendiary device explosion out of New York City. We're standing by for an update. We're going to bring you there live here coming up in just a few moments. We're waiting to get a feed on that. Right now, we are also monitoring a developing story out of Congress. The House Rules Committee debating right now a bill on whether congressmen and women should be allowed to trade stocks. We'll bring you more on that coming up here in just a few moments. We want to start you out first, though, with some breaking news. The president speaking to the press moments ago. This was yesterday for the World Cup. Take a listen.
I thought it was incredible. It was 4 times greater than any FIFA ever held, and it's probably about 5 times, actually, they're telling me today. So we're very proud of our country. We're very proud of the job that was done by everybody. We congratulate Johnny Infantino and all of his staff for the incredible job they did, but this was one of the greatest events of any kind ever held. So we're really happy that it did so well. And all over the world, people have come and they've loved our country. You know, showed off our country in a different light. And it was a great thing. It was a great event. And I'm glad you all enjoyed it. I wasn't sad. I think they both played well. I would say Spain played better, really. But they both played well. I mean, they got to the finals. And it was very exciting, actually. It looked like Spain dominated, but it was a very close match. So it was great. It was a great event. Yeah. Well, we feel very badly, but you know those great people, those great patriots were out there fighting that Iran could not have a nuclear weapon. Iran has been very, very badly damaged. They've lost everything almost militarily. They've got very little left. They've got some missiles. They've got some drones. They've got some manufacturing ability, not much. We control the Strait. We don't control anything. So we'll see what happens. So we hit them very hard again tonight. And we did that in honor of the probably three as opposed to 2 great patriots. Well, we're going to see. We'll be sticking to that. Again, yeah. How did that go? Well, it went good, but I told them, I mean, you got to stop these fires from coming in and poisoning our air. Our air has been poisoned. I have a good relationship with Mark Carney, but, you know, we got to stop the fires up there. If we can help them, we'll help them. But maybe they can pay us some damages or something, or we could do some tariffs. But it was terrible. I mean, you had businesses closing.
Alrighty, want to interrupt here because, as we said, we are following breaking news right now where we are waiting for a press conference to come right now that appears to just be beginning from New York after an incendiary device explosion incident in a New York City plaza. Let's take a listen.
Commissioner of the world's finest police department, New York City Police Department. Thank you, Commissioner Tisch, for being here. And Jamie McDonald, the Deputy United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York. Today, just before 9 a.m., a man by the name of Andrew Arabaca, A-R-R-A-B-A-C-A, arrived at 26 Federal Plaza, just behind us on Worth Street, at the employee entrance to the building, where he ignited gasoline. He poured gasoline onto the ground and ignited it with a lighter and an incendiary device. That device was a firework, a large firework in a canister. That proceeded to catch on fire, pretty big flame as you've seen on the internet. He then pulled out an airsoft rifle and fired 5 to 7 pellets, if you will, in the direction of 26 Federal Plaza. At that time, Federal Protective Services, 2 officers, a gray suit, a contractor with Allied that is employed to guard this building. And those 3 people and the 2 officers standing behind me in the blue shirts are the officers that intervened and took Mr. Arabaka into custody. Well, he had him on the ground. An FBI agent jumped in and they put handcuffs on him and took him in the building. He is currently in custody and he has been interviewed. Arabaka is a former United States Army soldier. He was enlisted for approximately 4 years, serving from 2001 to 2005. He was a repairman or mechanic on Patriot missile systems. He is 43 years old. There were injuries in this. 3 people were injured, minor injuries, 1 civilian and 2 government employees. Right now, our evidence response team is out working with NYPD and our New York Joint Terrorism Task Force to collect evidence, to conduct interviews. We have located a vehicle of Mr. Arabaka's. We have seized that vehicle. We are procuring or obtaining a search warrant. Mr. Arabaka came armed with bad intentions. I will say that 26 Federal Plaza has long been a target of extremists, of terrorists, and today the extremism was brought here. The building was attacked. Mr. Arabaka was looking to injure people and harm people. He had 2 axes, a hammer, a machete, and 3 knives, fixed blade knives. He had, as I said earlier, 6 incendiary devices or fireworks, and he had some other destructive items. Going forward today, like I said, we'll do more interviews, we'll collect more evidence, and we will, and I'll leave to Mr. McDonald to talk about charges. We take this very seriously. On his cart, he had a cart. He had anti-ICE literature on it. When he was being arrested, he yelled derogatory terms to ICE, used bad words, obviously. He is an anti-American, anti-government extremist. We know that from what he said. We know that from what he has said post-arrest. And we know that from what his actions that he tried to take today. So I will turn it over to Police Commissioner Tisch.
Thank you, Jim. Good afternoon. I am here to provide some additional details about this morning's incident outside of 26 Federal Plaza. This remains an active investigation, and the information that we have is still being gathered and is subject to change. At approximately 8:30 this morning, a call came in to New York City's 911 call center that there was an active shooter outside of 26 Federal Plaza in Lower Manhattan. 2 additional calls in the subsequent minutes reported an explosion and a male setting off fireworks at the location. Units from NYPD's 5th Precinct responded within 2 minutes of the first 911 call, and by the time they were on scene, the suspect had already been taken into custody by federal officers. The suspect has been identified, as you just heard, as Andrew Arabaka, 43 years old, of Poughkeepsie. He is believed to be a U.S. Army veteran. His last known address was up in Harlem. His vehicle, a black Toyota RAV4, was located parked in the vicinity of West 124th Street and Broadway, and that vehicle is subject to search pending a search warrant. The entire incident unfolded in view of an NYPD camera positioned on the southwest corner of Worth Street and Broadway. Video and witness statements describe the suspect's actions as follows. At approximately 8:30 a.m., Mr. Arabaka arrived at Worth Street and Lafayette Street in front of 26 Federal Plaza. Once he arrives, he ignites a bundle of what appears to be fireworks, which begin to smoke. He then goes back into his cart and takes out an airsoft rifle and proceeds to brandish it, and he appears to fire several pellets from the airsoft rifle. Next, He pulls out an orange bucket from his cart and runs towards the bushes along the building line. He dumps the contents of the bucket, an incendiary liquid, between two sets of bushes along the perimeter of this property and ignites a fire. Federal agents and officers then run up to the subject, subdue him, and take him into federal custody. On the scene was recovered, among other things, 2 airsoft rifles and the container with the flammable liquid. Also affixed to the suspect's cart was a sign reading "Ice off our streets." During the incident, the suspect was wearing a military-style helmet. This incident occurred along federal property, and the NYPD is supporting the federal government in their investigations. Charges are yet to be filed. Our work with the Joint Terrorism Task Force and the Southern District of New York is critical to keeping our city safe, and I commend the federal agents and contractors and officers who responded to the threat this morning. Now I'm going to turn it over to Deputy United States Attorney Jamie McDonald.
Thank you. I'm Jamie McDonald, the Deputy United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York. As you can see, we're here in response to an incident this morning that took place just behind us here at the Jacob K. Javits Center, which houses dozens of federal agencies and thousands of federal employees. I want to thank the work of our law enforcement partners whose rapid response led to the neutralization of the threat and the immediate turn to evidence collection and investigation. Our office, the Southern District of New York, led by the National Security Unit and the General Crimes Units, are working closely with the FBI, the NYPD, FPS, and others to investigate this matter. As you've heard, one individual has been taken into custody. Our investigation is continuing, and we will keep the press and the public updated on charges. Thank you.
All right, time for a few on-topic questions. Which people hold on?
We're collecting the evidence, and we know there were anti-government and anti-American statements made, and we know that an incendiary device and gasoline were used to start a fire. Charges are determined by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Right now, the FBI, the New York City Police Department, the New York State Police Department, all our members of the task force, the Joint Terrorism Task Force, are out collecting evidence today. We will present that evidence to the United States Attorney's Office, and the United States Attorney will make that charging decision. I don't know what those will be.
Aaron.
His goal was to target the building. He said that and I'm not going to get into all the details of a post-arrest interview, but he was Mirandized, read his rights. He did agree to talk. In that post-arrest interview, he did say he was targeting the building and he was okay if he hurt or killed people going in and out of the building, whether they were federal employees or civilians. I would mention a lot of business was canceled, not by the Federal Protective Services. Federal Protective Services, once they mitigated the situation, the building remained open, employees could come and go, and we continue to do work. But some agencies decided to close business for the day. There was a naturalization ceremony scheduled for today that was canceled. And the one civilian victim was an immigrant that had a hearing today for their immigration status. So that's quite unfortunate and quite ironic at the same time.
Mark Morales, CNN.
What can you say about the literature that was found there? Was there like a manifesto? And what do you know about his whereabouts on the way in? What did he get into town?
So he arrived in this area, well, I should say yesterday he went from Harlem. He took the subway down to the Penn Station area. He walked down and stayed overnight in the vicinity of the Holland Tunnel on the street. Then he came down to this area around 5 a.m. He ventured over to our spot a little after 8 o'clock. That's the timeline for his movements. We're still collecting evidence. The NYPD is out doing what the NYPD does great, and they're working with the JTTF on that. He has a couple of encounters with law enforcement that we're not ready to talk about, nothing rising to this level.
Do you see that living there in the FBI support testimony? Let's see the mission or the state protesting against ICE?
Look, I would say that protesting in the United States is protected by the First Amendment. We do not track protesters. We do not know who comes and goes as far as protests. So I don't know if he's been involved in any protests at all.
All right, thank you guys. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Alrighty, the FBI, they're providing an update on what was an incendiary device explosion allegedly here. The FBI, they're again providing an update on this breaking news. This all occurring this morning in New York City. Take a look there on the right side of your screen. You're able to see some video from the explosion from the New York Post. You see it there. Now, FBI here has revealed the suspect's name, saying it is Andrew Arbaka, and that he has since been arrested. He's 43 years old, from Harlem. He used a bundle of fireworks. You see some of the explosions there appearing as fireworks there in that video. And he also shot an airsoft rifle. Of course, this is all allegedly and had a writing that said "ICE off our streets." Notably, this happened at 27 Federal Plaza, which is a building that hosts several different federal offices. I want to read you kind of some of those that are inside this building. So the DHS, they have an office there inside this building. The Department of Justice as well, the FBI, several other agencies, including the Social Security Administration, the General Services Administration, several other offices, all here at 26 Federal Plaza. I believe I said 27 a few moments ago. Correction, 26 Federal Plaza. That's the Jacob K. Javits Federal Building. It's a 41-story skyscraper here. I'm just kind of reading some basic information on where all of this happened. It is believed to... according to the FBI, that this was in a situation against ICE, an anti-ICE, essentially a protest turned into, an incendiary device explosion here. So we are watching a video from earlier today of some of that, and you're able to see the smoke in the air after that. NYPD appearing to arrest somebody there in the distance. We know that that person could be there in that video. Andrew Arbaka, again, he's 43 years old, just arrested there in that video. Okay, we're going to continue following the breaking news. When we get more updates, we will take you there live. Again, a protest, I should say, excuse me, that video showing an incendiary device, what appears to be an incendiary device explosion. So we're going to continue to follow it live here on Brooklyn News. When we get more updates, again, we are going to bring them to you. We're going to sneak in our first commercial break of the hour. When we come back, well, a new prime minister in the United Kingdom. We're going to take you to his first speech made earlier today, plus some of the other big stories making headlines, including the latest on the war in Iran. That's all. When we come back, you're watching Brooklyn News Live. Alrighty, my bad for the extended break. I apologize. We are working on a story coming up for this next segment about the new UKPM. So my apologies about that. We're still working on it. I just wanted to get you back into what was going on here behind the scenes. So that's what's happening right now. Excuse me, you guys. Sorry, lots going on today. Okay, so the United Kingdom getting a new prime minister after Keir Starmer announced that he would be resigning. Adam Burnham was confirmed today as the new UK prime minister. We're going to play some video from it here, coming up here in just a few moments here. So again, we are working on getting this all put together for you, so stick with us right now here on Brooklyn News Live. We are working on getting this pulled up for you. What we're going to do in the meantime is take you right now live out to Capitol Hill, where a hearing is happening in the Rules Committee right now on Capitol Hill, excuse me here, on stock trading by congressional members. We're going to take you there live. It's happening now, and listen in for a few moments.
I hate to say it, but it feels like this continuing resolution is an admission of failure, not by our brilliant appropriators, but by House Republican leadership. They're willing to give up one of Congress's most fundamental powers and duties in order to avoid another potential political loss just before the election. They're asking us to give a blank check to this administration because they can't manage either their Republican caucus or to negotiate actual bipartisan funding bills. So I think it's an insult to the Appropriations Committee, because I know they continue to do good work even under duress, but it's a failure of Congress to be doing this months before the end of the year. And it also robs the House of the ability to direct funding to our districts where we know we need it. It robs every member of the ability to highlight, whether community health centers or local infrastructure, or we've been able to get additional resources for schools and libraries. All that goes out the window with a continuing resolution. So I'm not in favor of this. I think it is an admission of failure by the Republican leadership. I was struck, Ranking Member Deloria, about something you said about the continuation of funding without guardrails for ICE. At a time when in the last week to 10 days, we've seen 2 more killings of people on American streets under very, very questionable circumstances, when we're still seeing a failure to have clear rules about use of force, all the money that has been sent to ICE amidst promises that they would be deploying body cams for people to wear to remove some of these questions. We're not seeing that, but now we're supposed to give them more money. Is that what this bill would do?
Let me be clear. First of all, I just want to say there would have been no need to go down a road where there are difficulties here. As I said, some of the provisions that are in the bill are fine, which we could all agree to. But the issue is that the Republican continuing resolution, it does not include all of the sections of the fiscal year 2026 Homeland Security Appropriations Act. What it allows you, not with regard to ICE, because what they said is that there was no money that goes to ICE, but they have...
Okay, I hate to interrupt because it's just such a good argument I think everyone could say on the stock trading ban for congressional members. I hate to interrupt, but we do have a few other stories we want to get to, and we want to play a speech from Adam Burnham. Again, we want to talk about this here live on Brooklyn News Live. So, over in the United Kingdom, so Keir Starmer, now the former prime minister, announced he would resign. So the new guy, Adam Burnham, I believe he's a part of the Labour Party, trying to figure out if that's correct. Yeah, so he became the new leader of the country's 7th leader. This comes in just 10 years here after meeting with King Charles III. This Buckingham Palace had been formally asked to form a government. Now, Burnham, he's 56. He had been dubbed, quote, the King of the North during his time as the mayor of Greater Manchester, and he was appointed unchallenged after the unpopular Keir Starmer agreed to step down last month following a series of election defeats. So there you go. This morning, on Downing Street, which is where the essentially like the White House for the Prime Minister is, to kind of explain it here for the Americans. On Downing Street, kind of how we say Pennsylvania Avenue, Downing Street, Adam Burnham spoke today, and we want to air that for you here. This is his speech. Take a listen.
Thank you. I have just come from Buckingham Palace, where I have accepted His Majesty the King's invitation to form a government. In doing so, I am acutely conscious that I am the 6th person in the last 10 years to walk up this street, the 7th Prime Minister since 2016, making this a moment for reflection and new resolution. It requires my generation of politicians to raise our game and rise to the new challenge. Britain needs to show the world that we can regain our stability once again. And that is our challenge, to make politics work, to make it work better. I know people at home are fed up with politics. I hear you, and I want to be honest with you. We have not been good enough, and we need to be better. We will be. We will make this moment a circuit breaker for Britain, bringing forward the biggest changes in the last 40 years. A new political model and a new economic model. In the 1980s, Britain took some wrong turns. Political power was centralised, economic power privatised, large parts of the country deindustrialised, and they still haven't recovered. Many feel as though they're still in decline, and they don't have the ability to turn things around. And that's why we will change politics, to make it more collaborative, more about problem solving than point scoring. And we will take power out of here and carry it into every postcode in the land so that they can do more. And in doing more, build a new economy where we put life's essentials back under stronger public control to make them affordable to you again. Reindustrialising Britain, using public procurement to back British industry. Later this year, I will bring forward a new plan for Britain, a 10-year plan, laying out a path from where we are now to where I believe we all want Britain to be, wherever we're coming from, whatever party we support. But I can do something to give people some breathing space now, some help with the cost of living. And I will set out some of those measures starting tomorrow, including how we pay for them. We will help more young people into work by changing the education system and giving them more support, more mental health support. And we will build more council homes. That is the fair and sustainable way to bring the welfare bill down, to meet our fiscal rules and to honour our commitments on defence to our international partners. We will help people to live well, building a more preventative state, investing in people's success rather than paying for failure. And that work starts now. I will soon go through that door behind me and issue my first instruction to end rough sleeping in our country. It's about putting the right values and the right standards at the heart of government. I will put the care of people at the heart of everything I do. I will give this my all, and I ask you all to pull with me. Let's build a new national sense of unity, of common purpose and positivity. Let us make this the moment when Britain starts to believe again, the moment we bring back hope. Thank you very much, everybody.
Alrighty, the speech there delivered by Andy Burnham, now the Prime Minister Andy Burnham, after he was confirmed again, Keir Starmer resigning. You see him hugging and kissing those loved ones and people behind him. Alrighty, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we've got a developing story that we are following right now. The arrest of Andrew Tate and his brother. The video we're just going to get, plus his lawyer speaking outside the courtroom earlier today. We're back with that in just a few moments. You're watching Brookland News Live on this Monday, July 20th, 2026. Stick with us. And welcome back here in the Brookland News Live video from the arrest of the two Tate brothers now being revealed. You see some of that here, that video showing the arrest. They're being arrested on charges out of the UK and are expected to be extradited, So there you go, see some of that video. Want to kind of play some of it for you, show you the moment into the arrest here. Take a listen.
Hey, take. Come over here by me. Let's go. Come over here by me.
Back up. Back up. Back up. Guys, back up.
So just like that, the two were put into cuffs there. Now, again, these are two big social media influencers, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan Tate. They were arrested by the U.S. Marshals. This happened in Miami. This was all on Saturday afternoon. Taken into custody in handcuffs outside the James L. Knight Center just before Andrew was sent to co-host a bare-knuckle boxing event. Now, the arrest came after Britain's Crown Prosecution Service issued 30 new charges against both brothers, now bringing the total number of charges against them to 59, including additional allegations of rape and sex trafficking involving 4 further victims. Now, these new allegations, they date back to 2010 and 2017. Now, U.S. Marshals confirmed the brothers were arrested, quote, pursuant to extradition proceedings, with British authorities now seeking to have both men returned to the United Kingdom to face trial. So you see the video there of the arrest from the news.com .au, excuse me, here. Again, a press conference held today from the lawyers of Andrew Tate. Want to play that for you now. This is, again, is that press conference from earlier today. Take a listen.
Good afternoon, everyone. So today went as expected. There was never going to be any fireworks today. Today wasn't about controversy. Today was about just enforcing Mr. Tate's, Andrew and Tristan Tate's rights and objecting to the extradition process. We are, of course, objecting to extradition because Andrew and Tristan are innocent. They've never done nothing wrong. They shouldn't be extradited for crimes they did not commit. They're entitled to have their day of court that we've been litigating the case for 3 years in Palm Beach County in Florida. So we're fighting extradition. We've assembled a team here. These are from the Roy Black's prestigious firm. The Honorable and since passed on Roy Black, he's a legend, and they're here. They have joined our team. We have a competent team. We have a wonderful team. We're looking forward to getting the best possible result under the sun. Proceedings have now started in this courtroom, so I am less liberal with what I'm able to say. But if you have any questions for me, I'll do my best to answer them in a way that's respectful of your time, of our time, and of the court processes.
In the court, they acknowledge that the brothers.
Go ahead.
They acknowledge in court that the brothers reviewed the complaint and you were with them. Could you explain their first reaction to these allegations?
The allegations, their first reaction to the allegations is the first reaction that any innocent man or woman would have. It's garbage. It's a stitch-up job. They're after us to punish us with the process. The process is the punishment. When you drag somebody's name through the media, when you slander them, when you defame them, when you accuse them of heinous and terrible allegations, the process becomes the punishment until you can clear your name. They've been clearing their names domestically and abroad for years. This is just the next logical conclusion in that situation. Keir Starmer just retired or is retiring. I'm sure he's mad that Andrew and Tristan Tate had a lot to do with his fall in Great Britain. And there's a new guy in there right now. But this is the last vestige of attack of a prime minister who didn't do a good job, and he continues to do bad work, and I'll just leave it there. Innocent until proven guilty. We're going to let the court process play out here the way that it should. We're happy to be here.
Mr. McBride, the U.S.-UK treaty allows an exception for extradition if the charges are politically motivated.
Right.
What you're saying is
Politically motivated? I think any one of these trees, any one of these rocks could answer that question. Yes, it's politically motivated. There's no question about it. These guys went to D.C. to exercise their First Amendment rights. They met with members of Congress as private citizens. They met with friends in Washington, D.C. They walked the grounds of the Capitol, and 3 days later, they're in the jumpsuit. You do the math.
and that's the tool that you're going to use to get them free.
We have many tools. One of the ways that we'll argue, I'm not going to give away our entire arguments here, but we're certainly going to say that there are special circumstances. We're certainly going to use a totality of the circumstances argument, and that will be one of the things that we argue for certain.
Mr. McBride?
Yes, sir.
Ultimately, if the legal process goes towards extradition, it will be up to the Trump administration and the Secretary of State to decide to sign off on extradition. What do you believe the administration is seeing about this case?
Well, I appreciate your question. I see where you're going with it. You're fast forwarding to the end of the process. What's important to do now is focus on what's here and now, what's before us. Well, we have to go in there. We have a conference coming up in a few days. We're going to set a briefing schedule. We'll make our arguments before the court. We'll see what this judge does. I don't want to make political statements about the...
Alrighty, there you go. The press conference from earlier today out of Florida from Joseph McBride. He's a lawyer for the Tate brothers here, again arrested on new major allegations of rape and sexual assault out of the United Kingdom. Could they be extradited? The question here is when and how exactly it's all going to work. The lawyer there for the Tate brothers saying that why would they be extradited for a crime they didn't commit? So we are going to follow this story, keep you updated on it, and bring you updates when we get them. Alrighty, and happening now, look right now live in Madrid, Spain. You are taking a look right now at a parade ongoing after the Spain's World Cup win. Now, Spain defeated Argentina 1-0 yesterday in a tense semifinal match, knocking out the defending champions in front of a sold-out crowd. Now, on the other side here, the other side of the bracket here, now England pulled off an incredible comeback, beating France 6-4 in a wild Saturday semifinal that will go down as one of the greatest World Cup matches ever played. Now this sets up a dream final tomorrow. So Spain versus England at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. So that was held yesterday, the final, and Spain won there. So you are taking a look right now at the parade ongoing out of Spain. So, of course, Spain becoming the 2026 FIFA World Cup champion, 1-0, defeating Argentina in extra time. This all occurred yesterday afternoon at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And one of those dramatic World Cup finals in history, the match appeared just destined for several penalties after neither team could find the net for 90 minutes, with Argentina's goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez making a World Cup final record, 11 saves to keep his side alive. But just 39 seconds into the second half of extra time, substitute Ferran Torres thumped in an 8-yard shot to break Argentina's spirit and seal the deal here. So again, 1-0, Spain taking the win there. You're taking a look live right now at what is a massive parade in Spain right now. We're going to keep following, of course, the World Cup here after the final has just wrapped up. We've got more on this, and coming up, we're going to talk more about the Iran war. Stick with us. You're watching Brookland News Live. Welcome back into Brookland News Live. A live look at the White House as the Iran war has now hit a new devastating low this weekend. 3 U.S. service members now confirmed dead in the latest round of Iranian attacks, We know this included one American soldier was killed in northern Iraq during the controlled detonation of a downed Iranian drone. Now, a separate Iranian attack in Jordan left 2 more U.S. troops dead and 1 still missing in action. Now, President Trump warned this morning that Iran, quote, will pay for the deaths. And the U.S. is now increasing the number of fighter jets in the Middle East as Trump considers how to respond. U.S. Central Command has also announced that it has located unidentified remains in Jordan in connection with the attack here. So last night, it marked the 9th consecutive night of U.S. strikes on Iran, with Trump saying Iran was hit, quote, very hard. Explosions reported across multiple locations in Iran in the early morning hours. Now, this all happened in local time here. Now, U.S. allies across the region reported a new wave of Iranian retaliatory attacks that occurred yesterday, with Jordanian air defenses intercepting 3 Iranian missiles and a 4th getting through. Now, Bahrain, and Kuwait also reported incoming fire here. Now, the AP is reporting that U.S. strikes are now expanding further into Iran, with fears of, well, this escalation going even further. We're talking like across the land, across the region, that the conflict is spiraling beyond. We're learning that people are saying the fears there that this is spiraling beyond anyone's ability to contain. Now, the renewed escalation is already hitting American drivers directly. We've talked about gas prices so much here on Brookland News Live since this war began, and they're climbing back up to a national average of $4 a gallon. Now, as of this morning, the AP according to the AP, they reversing weeks of gradual declines. We're going to get this out here, that had brought relief at the pump. Now back at $4 a gallon again. So here in Northeast Arkansas, that means prices have fallen around $3.32 a gallon. In Jonesboro, prices could tick back up once again after they had fallen. Southeast Asian ministers are meeting in Manila today to call for a reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, but with 3 American troops now dead and Trump vowing retaliation, the chances of a near-end term de-escalation appears very, very slim. Now, the war started 142 days ago, and at this point in time shows no signs at all of ending. Now, the president spoke earlier today from Joint Base Andrews. We want to play that for you because the question still remains, where do things with the U.S. and Iran stand right now? Again, the 9th consecutive night of strikes concluding. Could we see another night of strikes tonight? We're going to follow it all, and we're going to bring you updates here. The president speaking from Joint Base Andrews earlier this morning. Take a listen.
In terms of an event, let alone soccer or football, whatever you want to call it, but I thought it was incredible. It was 4 times greater than any FIFA ever held. And it's probably about 5 times, actually, they're telling me today. So we're very proud of our country. We're very proud of the job that was done by everybody. We congratulate Johnny Infantino and all of his staff for the incredible job they did. But this was one of the greatest events of any kind ever held. So we're really happy that it did so well. And all over the world, people have come and they've loved our country. Showed off our country in a different light. And it was a great thing. It was a great event. And I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Okay? No, I wasn't sad. I think they both played well. I would say Spain played better, really. But they both played well. I mean, they got to the finals. And it was very exciting, actually. It looked like Spain dominated, but it was a very close match. So it was great. It was a great event, yes. Well, we feel very bad because, those great people, those great patriots were out there fighting that Iran could not have a nuclear weapon. Iran has been very, very badly damaged. They've lost everything almost militarily. They've got very little left. They've got some missiles. They've got some drones. They've got some manufacturing ability, not much. We control the strait. Control anything. So we'll see what happens. So we hit them very hard again tonight. And we did that in honor of the probably three as opposed to 2 great patriots. Well, we're going to see. We'll be sticking to that. Again, yeah. How did that go? Well, it went good, but I told them, I mean, you got to stop these fires from coming in and poisoning our air. Our air has been poisoned. I have a good relationship with Mark Carney, but we got to stop the fires up there. If we can help them, we'll help them. But maybe they can pay us some damages or something, or we could do some tariffs. But it was terrible. I mean, you had businesses closing. In particular, Michigan. You look at Detroit, Michigan, they had to close everything. They had to close car plants and a lot of other things. So I never remembered this happening. Over the last 4 or 5 years, it started to take place. I never remembered this happening. I did. I spoke to Spain, and I congratulated them on having a great team. I really spoke to a lot of people. No, I have no tension. I have no tension with anybody. Well, it has a lot, and it has a lot of capability. But as I understand it, in about a month or so, they're going to send it to have it be maxed out. So they're going to be sending it, and they'll have it be maxed out. It'll take about a month. I did. Well, I was just saying, I gave an interview. I spoke to them about it. I said, you got to get it stopped. It's really forest management, and they should know how to do that. If you go back 4 or 5 years, I don't remember ever having a problem like this. So we do have that problem. Well, you keep hitting me. This is a far bigger job that we're doing. We were doing a little job of stopping them from having a certain capability. Now we're just ending it. So it's really not the same thing. What we're doing now is we're ending any chance that they can have a nuclear missile. If you look at it, after a week and a half, not 4 weeks, a week and a half, 2 weeks, we stopped them from probably, but I don't want to have the word probably. Thank you very much. Thank you for...
Alrighty there, the president delivering remarks, taking questions, saying that he doesn't want any right to essentially gain anything on the U.S. there. So the president speaking for just a few moments there from the south, excuse me, I want to say the south lawn of the White House, excuse me, from the Joint Base Andrews. So there we go. That was after the president returned from seeing the World Cup finale. Look at the White House right now. That scaffolding being put up as they are repairing. So essentially, you see like the picture, essentially the image that is displayed on a tarp, what appears to be a tarp of the White House. Behind that is scaffolding as they are repairing beams on the White House there. Excuse me, we're going to sneak in another quick break. When we come back, we're wrapping up the show here. You're watching Brookland News Live. And welcome back here into Brooklyn News Live. The time is now 3 p.m. and that concludes our time on the air with you. It is great to have been with you on this busy Monday morning. Want to note, as we probably have done several times now at the end of our show, we're working on a pretty big project. It has to do with live streaming, as I said before. Can't say much right now because we're still working on the specific details of it. But soon there will be something that you can go to that is going to provide you with consistent coverage, news coverage from myself, Brooklyn News. We're planning it all. We're working with it. We're going to bring it to you coming up in just a few weeks is when we're planning to launch, really at the beginning of August. We're going to talk more about it when we are officially able to announce it. Want to note that you can catch us tomorrow at 1 p.m. That is coming up again, 1 p.m. tomorrow Central Time for earlier edition of Brooklyn News Live. Join us then. We'll have the latest on the news, weather, and those big stories that are making big headlines tomorrow. We're going to continue to keep you updated on the events that we have covered today. If there are updates, we're going to bring you to them tomorrow. Specifically, that New York City incendiary explosion incident that occurred at 26 Federal Plaza. We're going to provide you an update on that if there is a major one, plus what new video we're getting in from there. And then we will also have, of course, Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, their arrest. Any updates on that, we're going to bring that to you. That is coming up tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Brooklyn News Live. In the meantime, if you can't tell, I'm extremely exhausted and tired. Today has been a long day for myself before we got on the air. So I appreciate you guys for joining us. Again, we're back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Join us then. That concludes this Monday edition of Brooklyn News Live. See you soon, you guys. Stay safe.